as an investor, how to deal with emotional attachment with projects. For example, Ethereum, Helium, yet slow moving versus projects which surely know will 100x or 1000x fast. Should we cut loose the projects and move on? I think this is similar to the other question. But first, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, so it sounds like they're saying Ethereum and Helium are slow moving. Helium seems very fast
No, no.
moving.
I mean, so basically, here I'll just rephrase the question to make it easier. So, if somebody has, basically, the question is, how do you deal with FOMO, right? If you're holding something and it's not moving fast, while other projects are doing 100x's, right, and they're just kind of zagging by, right? Should the person cut their losses and move on, or should they stay in that project?
Gotcha. Okay, so that's going to come down to a little bit of how you structure your portfolio, right? You might want to allocate a certain amount of your portfolio to, be more flexible with. But as far as the underlying investment, if it's not moving for you, but nothing's changed, and I'm echoing, something I've heard Ian talk about as a value investor, if nothing about the project has changed and the reason you invested hasn't changed, then why change? I mean, one of those projects that really hasn't moved a lot for me is Nano, but I still have a large allocation towards it because I genuinely believe in the fundamentals and the fact that it might be undervalued is because it's in the digital cash space. It hasn't been performing phenomenally. It's been keeping up with the market, but it hasn't been keeping. It hasn't been exploding or anything when these other cryptocurrencies are 10xing. And yeah, that's hard to watch. But the reason I invested in that cryptocurrency hasn't changed, and it's a set allocation to my portfolio. So I'm not going all in on one project. So I'm not, I'm missing out on some gains potentially in the short term, but it's all going to average out in the end. It all comes out based on how you allocate your portfolio. But I'd say if the reason you invested hasn't changed and you still believe in the fundamentals behind the project, then to me, as a long-term investor, there's no reason to necessarily cut it and FOMO into something else. Because what would make you feel really bad is if you held a project for a really long time because you believed in it, and then you cut it to go into something else, and then it takes off. And you were right all along, but you just weren't patient enough.
That's the worst. That's the worst. All right, Bill, what do you think?
Everybody thinks bull markets are an unending party where, you're wearing a lampshade on your head. You're having such a good time. That's actually not true. Bull markets test you. Okay. They either make you feel like you've missed out or they bore you to tears. So if you're asking yourself, should I go chase 100x coin? That 100x coin has probably topped. And the person selling it to you was someone who sat there and was bored to tears for years waiting for their day. That's what I tell myself when I go, oh, gee, I missed that. And then I say, wait, there's somebody out there who waited, synthetics, Aave, etc. So if you believe in something and you're holding it because you believe in it, try to think of it this way. You see something and you're waiting for the market to catch up to you. You want the market to catch up to you. You don't want to be a dog on a street corner that every time a car comes by, you chase it, right? You're like, oh, what was that? No. You want to stay with what you believe in and let the market validate your theory, right? That doesn't mean you can't keep an eye on what's new because we help you with that. But if you're a believer, right, and you want to say, in equities, they're always talking about, I don't know, financial planning, 401k, have a plan for the future. In crypto, oh, the future was, oh, okay, 5 minutes ago. No. All right. So if you believe in it, stay with it.
Totally on point, Bill. So my perspective, I think, is I totally get it, right? So basically, you're seeing all these other projects do 10x, 50x's, even 100x's, but maybe there's one or a couple or even more altcoins in your portfolio that aren't doing anything. If anything, they're actually losing money. So you have to really ask yourself, what are you trying to do? All right. And I think think about your goals in crypto as an investor. Are you thinking about just trading, speculating, and having quick flips? If you're just trying to do quick flips, then by all means, get out, right? So if something's not moving fast, get out, right? But understand that what you're investing in is a game of musical chairs, right? If you're playing that game, because when the music stops, you'll get wrecked, right? Because just go back in 2017 and look at the ICO bull run, and then once the party was over, everything dropped 95 to 99%. Some coins went to zero, right? So for me in 2017, I basically learned my lesson. So for example, projects like Wabi. Wabi at the peak did like a 141x. Let me actually pull up Wabi now. Wabi, I don't think is anywhere close to that, right? So one thing you learn is in bull markets, everything goes up. But what you really want to invest in is something that will be around after a bear market, right? So Wabi right now, market cap 44 million, right? So it is doing well now, actually, yeah. So it is doing well now. It's up almost 9x in the last 1 year, right? But the all-time high was $5.31. Right now it's at 75 cents. So it has not gone back to its all-time high. I mean, hey, I made a lot of money on Wabi. I mean, a lot of money. However, I don't own any Wabi anymore, right? It was basically speculation, pure speculation. What I really learned from is making a 100x investment is amazing. I mean, don't get me wrong, right? But the real money in crypto, if you're willing to be patient, is finding projects that will bounce back after a bear market, because that's when you get the 1000x returns. And best example is Binance, BNB, right? Imagine because when Binance launched, if we go all the way to the beginning, right? They had the ICO in 2017. It began trading at 10 cents. Binance is currently at almost 350, right? So if we go here to the return from the all-time low, Binance is a almost 9,000x return, right? So 8,700x return. So the question is, do you want a 100x return, or do you want an 8,000x return? When you frame it in that perspective, it will totally shift how you invest, right? Because yes, people are doing quick flips on those altcoins, hence shitcoins, basically. But the question is, will these projects be around 3 years from now? And the answer to, I would say, over 90% of them is no, right? So when you see that, at least for me, it makes me even more patient, right? So that's why when I'm investing now, I'm not investing for 100x. I'm investing for 1,000x, 5,000x, because that's where you really make generational wealth. And I think you basically just have to capture just one huge win, one home run, one walk-off grand slam home run. If you do that every market cycle, you'll be set for life, right? Because people are trying to chase the shiny object every month, every quarter. But when the music stops, you will get wrecked. And for me, I learned that lesson because in 2017, I was in the private sale of Chainlink, right? So not even the ICO, the private sale. We were one of the first investors in Chainlink, and I sold Chainlink at around 5 or 10x, I forget, right? But basically around that range. And I thought that was good. But looking back, imagine if I held Chainlink, because now Chainlink is, let's go all the way back. Right? So Chainlink launched at around 20 cents, 20 cents. Now it's at $30, right? So I got out at 5 or 10x, looking here at the all-time low. So Chainlink has done over a 200x return, right? So for me, that's the mindset I have. I'm trying to find those large winners, because Chainlink was a great investment, because if you compare this to Wabi still has not bounced back, right? So when you're investing, ask yourself this. If you pick an investment and let's say we enter a 2 or 3 year bear market, will this project bounce back and then go past this all-time high from the prior bull market? If you don't think so, then you're basically just chasing hype. You're basically just FOMOing into every project, which is fine. Basically, don't have any emotions. Just get in, get out very quickly. But if you think this is a project that has long-term staying power, then you have to be willing to weather the storm. Because how many times has Chainlink crashed, right? Pretty much every project crashed in the last bear market. Now, going back to your question in terms of emotions and should you cut your losses? So for me personally, it takes a long time for me to cut my losses, but always look at the projects that aren't doing well and try to find out why they're not doing well. Right. So for example, one project that's not really doing well for me has been Tornado Cash. So if we pull that up here, this not really doing anywhere close to where I thought it was doing. Oh wow, this is up. So I got into this around $210. I'm basically down 50% on the investment. But I've been going into their community and really just trying to figure out what's going on. And really what I've discovered is their tokenomics are not the best, right? Their token utility needs upgrading, right? So what I'm looking at now is looking at their governance proposals to see, are there any possible improvements coming to add more utility to the token, or is this just a dead token, right? So for me, I'm not fully out of this yet. But I'm now beginning to really get involved and try to see whether or not I should reassess my investment and take that loss. One other one is Armor. So that one I was down on for a while, but now it's bounced back, right? I saw that I think Tika Tiwari basically pumped this by putting this in his, I think, 5 coins to 5 million newsletter for this year, and now it's bounced back. But this is a project I've been bullish on. I've been using this myself to ensure my wallets on Ethereum. So going back to your question, it all depends on what you're doing, but you have to have perspective. So hope that helps.
Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com.